Hey guys, it's Money Monday. I am Missy Ann and we are in my dressing room. So this that I'm going to talk to you about today is something that I have done firsthand, and it's very dear to my heart that people learn this because of course it changes your life. So we're going to talk about today debt stacking, which is the fastest way to get out of debt and boost your credit score. I personally did this, and in 2 years I boosted my credit score over 200 points. So there's a couple other things that I did, and we can talk about that in later videos, but this is all about getting out of debt the fastest way possible. So take notes. I got notes. I'll be reading. They're just, to help me out. But essentially I broke it down into 10 steps, and I even made you guys a little graph to help with that part later, so we'll get there. So get your notes out, 10 steps to getting out of debt the fastest way possible. So this is also called the snowball effect, or debt stacking, like a set of stairs. There's a couple little preface steps that kind of start before the whole process, but they're included in the 10. So step 1, you're gonna need to get your free credit report. You can do this once a year. They don't charge you, but you do want to make sure you do it on the right website, because if you're not on the exact right website, it's kind of like Apple, where they have all those like other websites trying to get your information. And so if you don't input it in the right spot or like the right website, you'll get like 10,000 credit card offers. So be careful, make sure, just double check the URL when you're going through, make sure you're on the right page. But myfreecreditreport.com, you can get it directly through there. I am not a professional, not at the moment. I was certified years back, and I may go through the process to be certified again. But you can always seek the help of a professional. Do at your own, how you want to do your finances is always better to hire a professional. But if you want to do it yourself, this is just what I did. So that being said, so you're going to get your free credit report. That's going to give you a list of every single thing on there, debts you owe, things that are in collections, all that jazz. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to look at all of those balances and all of those inquiries. Inquiries are when you apply for something and you don't get approved, or sometimes you do get approved and it just hasn't shown up as an account yet. Well, you're going to go and you're going to file a dispute for every single item, pretty much, that you can. I wouldn't, these are going to be for things that are in collections or things that are inquiries. Accounts that you have open, you can't dispute, obviously, if you want to keep them. So if you do want to keep them, you can't dispute them. That is one of my other upcoming points. But you do need to, at the beginning of this, commit to not acquiring any more debt. So some people are, how do I put this? So there's a revolver and there's a transactor. So the revolvers are carrying a balance every single month. They're spending and they're adding as they go, and they don't pay off their balances every month. They make payments towards these balances. So that's a revolver. And what you want to get to is to be a transactor. And so transactors are the ones that are going to be paying off every single balance every single month. That takes serious determination. It takes focus. It takes self-discipline. So, you want to get there eventually. Not everyone's just going to start off there. I know it was really hard for me. So what I personally did was I actually took all of my credit cards and I put them in a drawer and I put them away. I put them up so they wouldn't be adding to my balances at all as I did this. I even cut 2 of them in half. So whatever you got to do to stop spending on those cards, that's going to be one of your fundamental keys. So that was actually step 3. So going back to step 2 really quick, with the disputes. So you're going to dispute any collection accounts or any inquiries. And basically the way that it works is the companies have 30 days to prove that you owe them that money. So if they can produce the documents and send them to the credit bureaus, then they prove that you owe that balance. It'll be solidified. But a lot of the time the companies cannot get the paperwork together or whatever. So if they don't provide the response within 30 days, all of that has to be removed from your credit score. So that gets dropped off. I personally had a couple things that dropped off, especially inquiries, and I had 2 accounts that I disputed that were from my divorce that went to collections, and those were dropped off as well. So I didn't have to worry about those. Now, the thing about disputing, you have to send it to each individual credit bureau. So there are 3 credit bureaus, and so it can get a little bit lengthy if you've got a lot going on, because you have to have 3 letters for every single item. So if you're disputing a bunch of stuff, you're going to have lots of letters. Again, it may help to hire a professional if you've got a lot going on. So that's what you're going to do. Then you're going to be left with all of your balances. If you have anything that you can't pay, like as far as if it's in the collections and it doesn't get dropped off, the next step, you're going to call them and set up a payment plan for the collections. So, you know, it'll tell you what agency is holding your balance. You can look them up. A lot of the time the phone number will be right on there, and you can call them and set up a payment plan. If you have to, you can settle the debt, which they'll normally take a lower amount than what you actually owed in the first place, but it does look much better on your credit and to lenders if you pay off the full balance, because they don't want you coming back later not being able to pay and then them never getting their money. So, you know, it looks good for you to pay off that balance, even if it takes you time. If they see you making payments on that, that looks so much better than settling and being paid off, because they can definitely see that. So if you can, set up payment plans on all of that. Step 5, you're going to commit to paying minimums on every single item. You personally, I have seen that anytime you can pay over the minimum, it's going to help. So I always try to pay at least like $5 or $10 over whatever the minimum is. That's pretty much my standard. I set that payment. If the minimum's 30, it's automatically 40, period. That's my minimum. I have to pay it every single month. That's kind of how I set mine. If you can't afford that, that's something you can work up to. So, so then we already went over, so step 6 was revolver versus transactor. So we already went over that. So the first real step into the debt stacking method, you're at step 7. You need to free up some money. So there's several ways that you can do this. A lot of people will look at the subscriptions that they have, monthly subscriptions, and, you know, say you have Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. You know, you can go through and cancel 1 or 2 or 3. If you have cable, you know, cancel. However, you can free up a little bit of money. Subscriptions are a really good way. Also with subscriptions, little side note, totally sidebar, but if you can, anytime you get a subscription, pay for the annual. It keeps you from having monthly transactions coming out of your account that you have to monitor and keep up with. And you'll normally save anywhere from like 10 to 30 to sometimes even more by doing the annual instead of by doing the month to month. I think my Amazon Prime for the year was like $130. And if it's and when I was doing this, it was saving me 2 overdraft fees a month. To cancel all of that and do the annual, it was saving me a lot. So if you're getting overdraft fees, if you're having a hard time keeping up with payments, cancel subscriptions or do annual. Another way that you can free up some money is if you know that you have certain discretionary spending that you overspend. So if you eat a lot of fast food, you know, maybe you need to cut $50 off from your monthly budget there. If you are like me and you love coffee, I know that if I don't go to Starbucks for the whole month, I would save anywhere from $50 to $100 usually, maybe more. And then the third way you can free up some money is a lot of people can save money on like insurance, like their car insurance, house insurance. Sometimes you can even refinance certain loans that you've had for a long time if your credit has increased overall. So there's lots of ways that you can free up money, but essentially you just need to come up with an extra chunk of cash that you can start putting towards these bills. So the step 8, you're going to take all of the debts that you have and you're going to list them from lowest to highest. It helps to do this on a piece of paper. This is kind of where my chart's coming in. So I've listed, the lighting is not very good. Along the top in the red are all of the balances that I have. So for this example, I use nice round numbers. I wish I had a better way to hold this, but the easel I have is like way too, I need to get a bigger whiteboard. We'll get there. This is my first one. So the balance is up at the top. I did nice even numbers, and I did even numbers for the payments. You won't normally have like minimums that are like this even of a number or whatever, but I just wanted to make it easy. So up here, let's say we've got a credit card that you owe $150, a credit card that you owe $350, a loan, maybe like a title loan or something that you took out that you owe $700, your car, you still owe $5,500, sorry, the lighting, and say you own a house and you're making a mortgage payment, you owe $150K. So then next, right underneath that in the green is the minimum payments. So to make it easy, again, even numbers, so you're paying $50 on each card, $50 on the loan, $250 a month toward your car payment, and $1,000 a month in your mortgage. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take, so say we canceled our gym membership and we got a lower price on our insurance. We weren't going to the gym anyway. So that saves us $100 a year. I mean $100 a month, if you go to LA Fitness like me. So you're gonna take that $100 a month and you're gonna add it to the $50 minimum that you were paying on this card, okay? With this balance being only $150, you're gonna pay that credit card off the very first month. Woohoo! So then, now you're gonna take that same $150 that you budgeted for that credit card, and you're gonna add it to the $50 that you're paying towards the second credit card. Okay, so you're now paying $200 towards this credit card. It's got a balance of $350. You already are making payments on that, so it might have even gone down since then. But then you're paying $200 towards that. So in less than 2 months, that card's gonna be paid off. Okay, then you're gonna take the $200 that you were paying to that card and you're gonna add it to the payment you're making for the loan. Your loan payment is now at $250. You've paid off both your credit cards, and then you're making payment minimums on this as well, so in a couple months you're gonna have that loan paid off. Okay, now you've got your credit cards and your loan paid off. You're gonna take the $250 that you were paying to the loan and you're gonna put it right with your car payment. So now you're paying double your car payment, $500 a month. I don't know the math on this one, so you know, you're gonna pay it off a lot faster. And you're gonna save yourself a lot of money in interest. Interest rates really vary, so you know, car interest rates tend to be lower. Credit card interest rates can be up to 30%. Personal loans can be even higher. I don't even know if there's really regulations on that. So anytime you can save yourself interest by this is what you're doing. You're saving yourself interest and you're saving yourself time. So you're gonna pay off your car a lot faster. Then you're gonna take the $500 you were paying to the car and you're gonna put it on the mortgage payment. And you're gonna pay that $1,500, and I don't know the math, but say that you pay off your house, I don't know, 10 years sooner. That I just guessed on that math, but essentially that's how it works. So you can see that as time goes on, you're eliminating payments and you're taking all the money that you budgeted in the very beginning to make payments and you're continuing to put that towards your debt. And you're gonna be eliminating things from lowest to highest. So that is debt stacking. I hope that broke it down a little bit for you. Definitely send me a message, get in the comments if you have any questions, you know, whatever. If you like this video or if you felt like it was helpful at all, give me a like, give me a subscribe, because we're gonna do lots more money talking. I'm gonna do a credit basics video, so if you are kind of unsure about how credit is broken down, how they look at it, how they get your score, all of that, I'm gonna do a whole video about that. There was one thing I meant to talk about in the beginning of this video that's kind of important to this topic, so I'm actually gonna go back. When you've got all your balances figured out, if you can consolidate, you want to do that. And sometimes that's going to help in a lot of different ways, but having less, if it's all in one spot, it's going to be a lot easier to not miss payments, to make your payments on time, to not, you know, all of that kind of thing. So a lot of credit cards, if you have good standing with your credit card and you have kind of a, you know, higher limit, I would call your company, any of your companies that you have higher limits on, and find out if you're pre-qualified for any cards with balance transfer options. Either balance transfer or cash advance at 0%. It has to be at 0% or you don't want to do it. And a lot of the time they'll give you 12 months or 18 months at 0 interest. And so what this does, like I said, it gets all of your debt in one place, and they'll even pay off your credit cards for you. You don't even have to worry about it. You just give them the cards you have and the balance, and they send the payments to them, and then you owe it all on the one card. And you have 0% for, say, 18 months. So, you know, if you had a balance of $1,000 total, you're paying 30%, roughly 29% interest. Over a year, that's your annual interest rate, you would have paid an extra $290 if your interest rate is 29%. So that's how much you're saving, $290, just by putting it into a consolidation account at a 0% interest. Unfortunately, if your credit is really bad or you never had any like higher credit lines, this might not be available to you. In the future, it'll be an option for you, but it just won't be available to everybody. So that wasn't an option that was available to me at the time that I started trying to resolve my credit. I couldn't even get a credit card. Sorry, my phone is dying. And so I had to completely build my credit from scratch. I had almost 7 years of credit history, and you know, after my divorce, things kind of went to shit. And I stopped trying to worry about it. I was too overwhelmed to think about it, so I just let everything go. And when I literally had 0 credit history, and I was starting from scratch. But I had all these things that I had to go back and I had to pay so that I could eventually get to a point where I have a 750 credit score. And so it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of self-discipline. I don't know what happened, my phone just like video cut off, I don't really know. But yeah, it's just gonna take practice and commitment. And I realized I say so much now that I've been doing this video, so I apologize. I'm really gonna work on that for you guys because that is obnoxious to hear. So sorry about that. Keep it up, just be committed. You can do this. It's gonna change your life. You're gonna get to where you want to be. You're gonna get to where you're financially stable. You're gonna get to be where you're a transactor, not a revolver. Just keep with it. Reach out for help if you need it. All of the resources are out there. You know, if you're drowning, there's debt relief programs, there's professionals out there, there's financial advisors. Do what you gotta do to get where you wanna be in life. So if you have any other questions for me, put them in the comments. Like this video, subscribe. We're gonna talk a lot more about money. I'm gonna make more videos about credit. And let's all go out there and make some bank together, okay? I love you guys. Good night.